Years had passed in the town of sun-baked clay, and the boy named John had grown into a man with a kind face and hands that were always busy. He still lived in a cozy cottage, but now his workshop was filled with the rhythmic tick-tock of 100 clocks. In the corner, his old green bicycle stood tucked away, a dusty reminder of a childhood lesson about kindness. John was currently working on his most ambitious project, the Grand Clock. It was a magnificent tower of gears and springs, and at its center sat a single polished golden gear. John believed that once he finished this masterpiece, his life's work would be complete. He spent every hour tweaking and polishing, barely noticing the world outside his window. As the sun began to set, painting the clay houses in shades of violet and orange, his wife, Alara, stepped into the workshop. She carried 2 mugs of steaming cocoa, the scent of chocolate filling the air. "The stars are waking up, John," she said with a gentle smile. "Will you come sit on the porch and watch the moon with me?" John sighed, his mind still spinning with calculations. "Just a few more minutes, Alara," he whispered. "This gear has to be perfectly aligned." Alara gave a small, knowing nod and walked out to the porch alone. She sat in a rocking chair, the rhythmic creak swish of the wood echoing through the quiet evening as she waited for him. Inside the workshop, the silence felt heavy. John looked at the golden gear, but for the first time, its shimmer didn't bring him joy. His gaze drifted to the old green bike in the corner. He remembered the day he received it, the rush of the wind and the pride in his heart. But more than the bike, he remembered the quiet walk with Leo and the pride in his mother's eyes. He realized that the greatest moments of his life weren't the ones where he achieved a goal or finished a project. They were the moments in between, the now, that he often rushed through. He set his tools down on the workbench and blew out the lantern. The grand clock could wait, the evening would not. He stepped out onto the porch. Alara reached out her hand as he approached. The night air was cool and smelled of damp earth and evening flowers. John felt the tension leave his shoulders as he looked at her. He realized that her presence was a far more intricate and beautiful gift than any clock he could ever build. John sat down in the empty rocking chair beside her. For a long time, neither of them spoke. They simply listened to the song of the crickets and watched the fireflies blink like tiny floating lanterns in the garden. The clatter crunch of his busy mind finally went silent, replaced by the peaceful rhythm of the night. "I almost miss this," John said softly, taking Alara's hand. Their fingers intertwined, the clay textures of their hands blending together. "I was so worried about finishing the clock that I forgot to enjoy the time we already have." Alara squeezed his hand. "The best things in life aren't built, John. They are shared." As the moon climbed high over the clay rooftops, John felt a deep sense of gratitude. He knew now that the golden gear wasn't a piece of metal, but the love and presence he shared with Alara. The journey had been long, but the destination was right here, in the quiet, beautiful heart of the now.